Fair use is one of the most complicated areas of law and one of the most difficult to understand. It is a balancing act between the exclusive rights a copyright owner an owner of a copyright has, and the freedom of speech that the Constitution provides in the First Amendment. And that balance can be difficult to navigate. It's a very fine line between what is fair use and what is not. And there's no clear guidance. There's no, this is fair use and this is not. What we have to do when we're doing a fair use review of a film or book or whatever we're looking at is we have to look at case law that has looked at similar situations in the past. And we have to look at the 4 factors that are contained for fair use in the Copyright Act. And we look at all of that to determine whether or not a use is fair. It's not an objective standard, which is what makes it very difficult. It's much more of a subjective standard. But it does have elements to it that make it possible for lawyers to review a film and the use of clips from another film or still images from another project to be able to say that is, in my estimation, in my professional opinion, a fair use. Fair use historically has been a defense to copyright infringement claims. Over time, it has sort of morphed into a right that you have the right to use something because it qualifies as fair use. And having an attorney on your team that really understands that perspective will help you avoid claims that could prevent your project from moving forward. An example of that was a client that, in an earlier project that I did not assist them on, did a whole feature using characters from other works. And it wasn't a parody. It was what we would call a derivative work. And they were not able to distribute it because they didn't have the rights to the underlying project. But recently I had a client do a parody of a well-known musical, and they received a cease and desist letter prior to going to perform it in New York. And when they came to me, I looked at it and I'm like, this is a parody. My client ended up engaging litigation counsel in New York with whom I worked, and the Southern District of New York, when they issued their opinion, said this is a parody. They were making fun of the premise of the musical and highlighting the issues that are problematic in this long-standing musical as a commentary. And both parody and commentary fall within fair use.